The Oval Office, air thick as bunker fog, chandeliers casting golden halos on faces polished like parade boots. I'm standing there in my Class A blues, heart pounding like incoming rotors, the kind that rattle your bones from a mile out. The president, the president, steps to the podium, his voice booming through the speakers like thunder over the Hindu Kush. Ladies and gentlemen, for unparalleled service in the shadows of war, for turning whispers into weapons that saved hundreds of American lives, I present the Legion of Merit to Colonel Sophia Lang. The room erupts. Applause crashes like waves on Omaha Beach. But I don't hear it at first. My eyes lock on the back row, where my family sits, uninvited, crashing the invite like they crash every holiday with their jokes. My uncle, Marcus Hale, the big Marine vet with the beer gut and the bark that could strip paint off a Humvee. He's frozen. Mouth half open, mid-sip from a flask he smuggled in, eyes bulging like he's seen the devil in dress greens. The man who called me the Army secretary for a decade, who roared with laughter at family barbecues about my pencil-pushing patrols, is petrified. Silent. For the first time in his blustering life. That freeze? It wasn't just shock. It was the crack in the dam I'd been building since I was 18, swearing in at Fort Benning with stars in my eyes and a family that thought I was playing dress-up. They mocked me for pushing papers while real soldiers bled. But papers? Those were maps of minefields. Intercepts that ghosted ghosts before they could pull triggers. Briefings that turned death traps into safe returns. And on that stage, with the weight of the Commander-in-Chief's handshake on my shoulder, the truth hit them like a .50 cal round. I wasn't the joke. I was the shield. But valor isn't born in spotlights. It's forged in the dark, in the hours no one sees, the decisions that echo in empty sifts, sensitive compartmented information facilities, for you civilians. This is my story, straight from the foxhole. No embellishments, no Hollywood gloss. Just a girl from a steel-town family of grunts who learned that the quietest warriors win the longest wars. Buckle up, because if you think military life is all bayonets and bravado, you're about to get schooled. And trust me, by the end, you'll never look at a desk job the same way again. I was born Sophia Marie Lang in the shadow of the mills, back when Pittsburgh still smelled like molten steel and promise. 1985, they say, Reagan on the radio, Cold War humming like a distant artillery barrage. My dad, Robert Lang, was the anchor, a Vietnam vet, E-7 Sergeant First Class in the 101st Airborne, the Screaming Eagles. He came home with shrapnel scars on his thigh and stories tucked away like loaded clips, tales of Huey Slicks dancing through triple canopy, of mates who didn't make the last bird out. But he never glorified it. War's a thief, Soph, he'd say, nursing a Pabst under the porch light. Steals your youth, leaves you echoes. Then there was Uncle Marcus, Dad's older brother, the Marine through and through. Aura incarnate. Desert storm tank jockey, the guy who drove an Abrams like it was a hot rod down Liberty Avenue. 6'3", hands like catcher mitts scarred from wrenching on engines stateside. He married Aunt Teresa, a nurse with a laugh like church bells, and they popped out 3 boys, my cousins, all carbon copies, loud, loyal, leathernecks in waiting. Marcus was the king of our clan, the one who turned every Labor Day cookout into a symposium on real manhood. Grilling brats with one hand, gesturing wild with the other, see this scar? That's from Fallujah, not filing TPS reports. Me? I was the odd duckling. Skinny, bookish, devouring Dad's dog-eared copies of Sun Tzu and Clausewitz while the boys played tackle football in the yard. Mom, God rest her, gone too soon from the cancer that ate her like acid rain on iron, pushed me toward college. You're the smart one, baby girl. Not like these knuckle-draggers. She meant it with love, but it planted the seed. In the Langhale tribe, brains were for civilians. Brawn was for badges of honor. High school blurred by valedictorian, debate team captain, ROTC drills where I'd outmarch the boys on the parade ground. But the pull was magnetic, the army. Not for the parades or the pins, but for the puzzle. I saw patterns in history's chaos, the way intel turned tides at Midway, how codebreakers at Bletchley shortened the Blitz. At 18, fresh out of Taylor Alderdice High, I walked into the recruiter's office on Forbes Avenue, uniform crisp as new forged steel. "Ma'am, you sure?" he asked, eyeing my stack of AP credits. "We got slots in admin if you're not up for the mud." I leaned in, voice steady as a laser sight. "Admin? That's where the war starts, Sergeant. Sign me up." Swearing in was electric, hand on the Bible, eagles screaming in my chest, the weight of the uniform folding over my shoulders like destiny's cloak. Basic at Fort Jackson, those Carolina summers, humidity thick as napalm smoke. I thrived. PT scores in the 90th percentile, marksmanship with the M16 like an extension of my arm. But when the slot came for advanced individual training, I didn't pick infantry or armor. No, I went straight to the military intelligence school at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. The School of Shadows, where they teach you to read the world's tea leaves, signals intercepts, human terrain mapping, psyops breakdowns. Word got back home fast. Dad was proud, quiet, like always, clapping my shoulder at the airport pickup, his callous palm rough against my fresh lieutenant bars. "You're gonna outthink 'em all, kid." "But Uncle Marcus?" He cornered me by the grill that 4th of July, beer foam flecking his mustache. "Army intelligence? What, you gonna spy on spreadsheets?" "Ha! Real soldiers kick doors, sophomore. You join to push papers in some air-conditioned bunker while the grunts do the dying." The table erupted, cousins hooting, Aunt Teresa swatting him playful-like. "Marcus, leave the girl be." But his eyes twinkled with that half-truth he wore like a purple heart, pity wrapped in punchline. I forced a laugh, cheeks burning hotter than the coals. "Uncle Marcus, those papers? They're the difference between ambush and homecoming." He waved it off, flipping a burger. "Sure, kid. Pass the relish." That was jab one. The opening salvo in a war of words that would span deployments, holidays, and heartaches. Little did I know, it was just the wind-up. OEF, Operation Enduring Freedom, hit like a sandstorm in 05. I was 20, a butter bar second lieutenant, green as the Appalachians but hungry as a wolf. My first slot, forward operating base Fenty, up near Jalalabad, but the real grind was the TOC, Tactical Operations Center, at Bagram Airfield. Imagine a metal box the size of a shipping container, humming with servers and static, lit by the blue glow of monitors like foxfire in the night. That's my office. No foxholes, no firefights, just the endless scroll of SIGINT chatter, drone feeds flickering like bad acid trips, and the weight of lives hanging on my neck on a grid. We were the unseen orchestra. While the 10th Mountain Division rolled out on patrols, kicking doors in mud hut villages, I sifted the noise. Pashto whispers from Taliban walkie-talkies, cell pings from ghost sims, patterns in IED placements that screamed like fingerprints. My team, me, a crusty E6 named Ramirez with tattoos up to his elbows, and a fresh-faced specialist from Ohio who chain-smoked to stay sharp, we turned data into daggers. Take my first real save. Week 3, I'm buried in a stack of intercepts from a VBIED cell in Nangarhar province. Chatter's hot, the eagle flies at dawn over the red rock. Cryptic as hell, but I cross-reference it with human from a flipped informant. Red Rock's a ridgeline near Tora Bora, Eagle's code for a Black Hawk convoy route. Dawns in 4 hours. I flag it up the chain, reroute via Route Florida, add drone overwatch. CO buys it, grumbles about intel hunch jobs, but orders the shift. Come morning, the feed lights up. Boom, massive secondary on the original path, crater the size of a swimming pool, Taliban dancing like idiots around the empty blast zone. Our birds? Safe, rotors chopping air over Florida's dust devils, troops touching down without a scratch. Ramirez slaps my back later over MREs in the chow line. Lieutenant Lang, you just bought those boys a ticket home. What's for dessert, medal or migraine? No medal. Just a nod from the S2, a good work scribbled on my eval. But back home? Radio silence from the family, except Uncle Marcus's holiday card, a cartoon desk jockey drowning in files, caption, Sophia's daily battle, death by paper cut. Ho ho ho. I crumpled it, taped it to my bunk wall as a reminder. Fuel for the fire. Deployments blurred after that. Kuwait 06, logistics intel, mapping supply lines that fed the surge. Then Qatar, 08, embedded with JSOC advisors, piecing together Al-Qaeda networks from puzzle pieces of financial wires and safehouse rentals. Each tour chipped away at the girl from Pittsburgh, forging her into something sharper. I picked up scars, not shrapnel, but the invisible kind. Sleepless nights decoding Urdu scripts till my eyes bled, the gut punch of false positives that sent good men into dry runs, the hollow echo of a teammate's last email home. And the losses? God, the losses. Specialist Tyler Tex Harlan, no relation to forbidden names, just a kid from Lubbock with a drawl like honey and a knack for pattern recognition. We were tight, trading stories over stale coffee in the SCIF, his about rodeos and first loves, mine about Dad's old war yarns. One night in 09, Kandahar province, mortar rounds walk the wire. Tex is outside grabbing a smoke, against regs, but who counts in the witching hour? The blast paints the sky crimson, shreds the guard tower like confetti. I run out, boots slipping in the mud-blood mix, screaming his name till my throat's raw. They pull me back, medevac the wounded, but Tex. He's zipped in a bag before dawn. The memorial's a ghost town, empty bleachers under Afghan stars, a boot on a stump with dog tags dangling like wind chimes. No family flies in, his folks can't afford it. I stand there alone, whispering the Lord's Prayer through salt-streaked cheeks, vowing silent, not for nothing, Texas. Your eyes on those grids? They'll save the next one. Back in the TOC, I double down. More hours, deeper dives. Promotions follow, first lieutenant by 10, captain by 12. 03 bars shining, but the weight? Heavier than Kevlar. Family calls trickle in, mostly Mom's old rotary number now manned by Dad. How's the paper empire, Soph? He'd chuckle, voice tinny over sat phone. I'd bite back, saving asses, Dad. Yours included, someday. Laughter, always laughter, masking the chasm. Uncle Marcus escalated at my cousin's wedding that summer, big affair in Ohio, white tent, open bar. I'm home on leave, dress blues starched, feeling like a fish in fatigues among the civvies. Marcus corners me by the cake, breath whiskey sour. Captain Paperclip. Heard you got bumped up. What for, best stapler in the sandbox? The table roars, cousins, aunts, even Dad smirking into his punch. My face? Furnace hot. I lean in, voice low as a suppressed round. For spotting a sniper nest that would have glassed a platoon, Uncle. Papers with teeth. He blinks, then guffaws louder. Snipers? Hell, my boys in the Corps dodged RPGs for breakfast. You ever fire that sidearm outside the range? The jab lands, a gut shot. I excuse myself, step out into the cornfield dusk, tears hot as brass. Why fight for family that fights you? But valor's not optional. It's the oath you took, the creed etched in your marrow. So I shipped back out, to Ramstein first, Germany's grey skies a bomb, then forward to the point in Bagram again, 13. That's where the real storm brewed, Operation Steel Veil, our push into Hellman's green zone. Taliban resurgent, IEDs blooming like poppies. My role? Lead analyst for the 82nd Airborne's Intel Cell. We were ghosts in the machine, feeding real-time to fire teams on the ground. One op stands etched, the ghost caravan. Intercepts light up, convoy of Toyotas hauling RPGs and fighters toward a marine outpost at Leatherneck. Chatters frantic, the lions feast at midnight under the scorpion's tail. I break it, lions equals vehicles, scorpion equals constellation over the Arghandab River, midnight equals 02:00 Zulu. Crosscheck drone IR, heat blooms like fireflies. I vector in an MQ-9 Reaper, loiter pattern, hellfire's hot. CO hesitates, Lang, that's civilian overlap. You sure? My pulse thuds. Sir, 80% confidence. Patterns don't lie. He green lights. Predator feed, missiles away, clean hits. 5 trucks vaporized, no collaterals. Post-strike, the S3 buys me a beer in the O Club, rare as hen's teeth. You just spared a company from house to house hell, Colonel. Wait, Colonel? Nah, that was later. But the note slips under my door next day, hand-scrawled from the ground pounder lead, call sign Bulldog. Ma'am, your call saved my platoon. Beers on us when we rotate. Aura. I folded it into my Kevlar liner, talisman against the doubt. Home front? Crickets, till Thanksgiving 14. I fly in for Mom's old recipes, cranberry relish, turkey carved with Dad's K-bar. But Marcus dominates, holding court. Sophia's out there playing chess while we're checkers champs. Laughter laps like waves. I snap, first time. Chess wins wars, uncle. Checkers gets you flanked. Silence, then his boom, flanked. You flanked a filing cabinet lately? Exit stage left, me to the guest room, staring at ceiling cracks like topo lines. One day, they'll see. Family's a battlefield all its own, trenches of tradition, minefields of machismo. Post-14, as I climb to major, the jabs evolved from barbs to broadsides. Cousin Jake's wedding, 15, big Catholic shindig in Cleveland, saints staring down from stained glass. I'm maid of honor, irony thick as fog, in lavender chiffon that itches worse than woolies in July. Marcus, best man, toasts with vodka neat, to Jake, a real ranger, fresh from Bragg. And to my niece Sophia, the Army's secret weapon, against boredom. Roars. Jake winks, whispers later, ignore him, sophomore. He's just jealous you got the brains. Jealous? Maybe. Marcus retired 12, pension plump, but the fire dimmed, gout in his knee, regrets in his eyes from buddies left in the sand. He projected onto me, the soft one. Dad? Complicit spectator, chuckling low. He's proud in his way, kid. Proud? It felt like pity, a pat on the head for the family outlier. Then the wake, Grandpa Hales, 16. The old man, World War II tanker in Patton's 3rd, gone at 94, Lund surrendered to Agent Orange ghosts. Funeral home reeks of lilies and regret, folding chairs creaking under asses. Eulogies Marcus's, Grandpa charged tanks, took hills. That's hail blood, action, not memos. My turn? I stand, voice steady. Grandpa taught me maps win battles. He plotted routes across the Rhine, intel that outfoxed the panzers. I'm carrying that torch, in the wires, where wars are won before the first shot. Nods, murmurs. Marcus later, by the casket, nice speech, desk driver. But Grandpa'd want you in the fight, not filing reports. The drive home with Dad, rain-slicked I-76, wipers thwacking like metronomes. Why do you let him, Dad? I'm bleeding for this country same as you. He sighs, hands white on the wheel. Marcus talks big 'cause he misses it, sophomore. The rush. Your work, it's quiet. Folks like noise. Quiet. That word haunted me, a specter in my ruck. Quiet Valor, saving lives from a console, briefing colonels on threats unseen. But quiet don't echo at reunions. Deploy again, 17, forward to Al-Assad, Anbar province. ISIS caliphate crumbling, but embers flare. My slot, G2 for the 1st Armored Division, hybrid intel, part desk, part desktop. We embed with Delta advisors, hunting high-value targets. That's where I meet Captain Elias Ghost Navarro, no forbidden ties, just a ranger with eyes like chipped obsidian and a laugh that cut tension like a K-bar. Elias and I? Oil and water, or maybe gunpowder and spark. He's all kinetic, halo jumps, CQB drills, while I'm the chess master plotting 3 moves deep. First joint op, night raid on a Daesh bombmaker in Fallujah ruins. My human pins the safe house, blue door, prayer rug in window, kids tricycle out front, don't hit civvies. Elias briefs his team, Lang's got the grid. We trust it or we bleed. Infill's textbook, suppressed 5.56 whispers, flexicuffs on the HVT. Exfil, he radios, ghost actual to Oracle, clean sweep. Your patterns saved our 6. Dinner when we dekit? Dinner's MREs on a rooftop, stars pricking the black like bullet holes. We talk, his from Juarez border runs, mine from steel mill shifts, dad pulled double to fund my books. Family thinks I'm crazy, chasing shadows, he says, spooning chili mac. I laugh bitter. Mine thinks I'm a clerk. Pushing papers while you heroes hump the hills. He tilts his head, moonlight's silvering his stubble. Soft, papers are the hill. Without you, we're blindfolded in a knife fight. You're the valor they don't see. That night shifts something. Elias becomes anchor, stolen emails, care packages of Mexican hot sauce tucked in my AO. But war's cruel jester. 18, during the Mosul mop-up, his fire team hits an ISIS sleeper cell. Ambush in a wadi, RPGs cooking off like fireworks. I see it unfold on the feed, heart and throat, ghost, vector north, flanks hot. Too late. Elias takes shrapnel to the leg, medevac out, purple heart pending. Last words over TACnet, Oracle, keep reading the winds. For me. He pulls through, PT and Walter Reed, letters scrawled shaky, miss your intel briefs. More than the views. But the scar? It mirrors mine, a reminder, valor bonds in blood, but distance dulls it. I promote to lieutenant colonel that fall, 1805 Eagles, hard one. Home leave coincides with brother Ben's promotion party, my middle bro, welder turned National Guard E4, real soldier in their eyes. Bar in the Berg, neon buzzing, shots flowing. Marcus, 3 sheets, slurs, Colonel Lang. What did you conquer this time, the inbox? Laughter cascades. Ben, buzzed, joins, sis, seriously, when you gonna get dirty? I got mud on my boots from annual training. Dad hushes them half-hearted. I stand, glass raised. To mud, and to the minds that map it. Without intel, your boots are just targets. Cheers, awkward. Marcus later, outside in the alley smoke, tough talk, sophomore. But war's sweat, not screens. Prove me wrong. Prove him. That became mantra, etched deeper than ink. By 19, I'm a full bird colonel, slotted to CENTCOM's J2 at MacDill, Florida sun mocking the sand in my soul. But the call comes, surge support to Afghanistan, back to the stand for Operation Shadowlands. Taliban resurgence, election year optics, us holding the line with duct tape and determination. My team, 12 analysts, linguists, a cyber weenie from NSA on loan. We're the brain trust for Task Force Ironwood, 3rd Infantry Division pushing into Wardak Province's poppy fields. Shadowlands was chess on steroids, multi-bracket ops to dismantle a shadow network funding Haqqani attacks. My lead, Track the Viper, ex-Afghan National Army officer turned warlord, ghosting arms from Pakistan. Humans thin, whispers of safe houses in Ghazni, couriers with scorpion tattoos. I dive in, Sigint waterfalls, financial pings from Hawala wires, satellite overhead stitching quilts of movement. Weeks grind. 18-hour shifts, Red Bull IVs, arguments in the SCIF over false flags. One night, breakthrough, Viper's voice print on a burner call, the nest awaits the eagle's shadow at dawn's breath. Cross with drone SAR, nest equals compound near Gardes, eagle equals our Apache gunships on CAP. Dawn's 0500. I brief the CG, sir, 92% lock. Strike window 20 mics, minimize sieve overlap. He nods, steel in his gaze. Make it count, Lang. Hellfire's rain, compound crumbles, Viper's lieutenants bagged, arms cash torched. No blue on blue, 14 tangos down. Post-op, the after-actions gold, Lang's analysis prevented projected 200% casualty spike. A star from Bragg slips in, Colonel, you're the ghost in their machine. But the cost? My XO, Major Lena Ortiz, sharp as a bayonet, mom of two, catches frag from a secondary drone strike on Exfil. She's stable, but the vid call home, her kids' faces, pale through the screen. Mama okay? Valor cracks then, silent tears in the head. Home echoes empty. Dad's emails, proud, kid. Weather here's gray. No mention of the op, leaked in stars and stripes. Uncle Marcus's Christmas card, Santa at a desk, elves buried in files. Ho ho, Sophia's saving Christmas one memo at a time. I burn it in the ashtray, ash swirling like desert wind. The isolation? Bone deep. Friends stateside drift, civilian jobs, kids soccer. Elias? Promoted, posted to brag, letters sparse. Miss the fight, sophomore. You? The straw? Cousin Mia's baby shower, 20 virtual, COVID ghosting the world. Zoom grid of smiling faces, Marcus unmuted, Sophia's probably briefing Zoom on Taliban TikToks. Chuckles pixelate. I log off, drive to the Allegheny River overlook, city lights blurring through rain. Enough. I pen the letter, never sent, to Marcus, Uncle, your jokes are bullets with blanks. But blanks still bruise. Instead, I channel it, mentor program at MacDill, pulling junior officers into shadows. Intel's the first casualty avoided, I drill. They nod, eyes wide, mirrors of my younger self. Then, the pivot, 21, drawdown chaos. Biden's call, Kabul falling like dominoes. I'm yanked to Kabul International for exfil intel, mapping evac routes, flagging insider threats. August heat, airport a madhouse of fear and fury. My cell runs 24/7, IDing Taliban spotters in the crowds, vectoring C-17s through SAM envelopes. One call, crowd surge at Abbey Gate, suicide vest sig. Alert goes out, MPs reroute, save hundreds. But the bomb still drops, 13 Marines gone, hearts shattered on the tarmac. I debrief in a tent, voice hollow, we missed the vest weave. Brass pats backs, you got 90% out, Lang. That's victory in defeat. Victory? Tastes like ashes. Fly home shell-shocked, dad meets at pit, hug bone crush. Saw the news, sophomore. You okay? No. But Roger is all I muster. Reunion's a minefield, Thanksgiving 21, first postnum for dad, first scars for me. Table groans with turkey, tension thicker. Marcus, post-retirement ponchier, launches, heard you were in Kabul, Colonel clipboard. Dodging emails or explosions? Silence. Dad shifts. I set fork down, steel and spine. Dodging both, Uncle. My map's got 5,000 Afghans and allies on planes. Yours? He blinks, beer midway. Hey, Aunt Teresa cuts, boys, ease up. But the seeds planted, crack in the armor. Ben pipes, sis, for real? That's huge. First ally. Small win, but Valor feeds on crumbs. Shadow lances tendrils snake deeper post-viper. We chased his ghost network, lieutenants splintering into cells, arms flowing like the Helmand. My days? A blur of fusion cells, SIGINT fused with Massant, cyberpings tracing Bitcoin drops to Peshawar shops. Allies emerged from the ether, Afghan colonel named Kareem, eyes weary as ancient kites, feeding tips on tunnel rats under the line. You American sea lines on maps, he'd say over chai in a mud-walled hooch, AK slung casual. We see veins in the earth. Trust this vein, it leads to their heart. Trust. That's the currency of intel, rarer than clean water. Kareem's vein-panned gold, cash rate in Zabul, 20 tons of Iranian explosives, enough to glass a brigade. My analysis vectors the QRF, quick reaction force, evading 2 ambushes en route. Ground feed crackles, Ironwood actual, package secure. Your ghost call was on the money, Oracle. Oracle. The handle stuck, whispered in AOs from Kandahar to Khost. But betrayal's shadow loomed. One tip from Kareem, Viper's successor, the Scorpion, meet and spin Boldak, bribes for border runs. I greenlight a JSOC snatch, Black Ops in from Sigonella, NVG's green glowing. Infill's poetry, silent wings, suppressed bursts. But exfil? Betrayal. Scorpion's a plant, Kareem's cousin, flipped by ISI. IED chain lights the night, convoy scatters. Loss, 2 Green Berets, SFC Ramirez, my old Bagram gunny, now advising. His last transmission, Oracle, it's hot, reroute east. Static swallows it. After action haunts, bored at Bagram, brass grilling. Lang, your human vetting? Triple sourced, sir. ISI's reach, finger jabs. Results, Colonel. Not excuses. Reprimand in my file, a paper cut that bleeds. I visit the memorial wall later, etching Ramirez's name with chalk, E6 to legend. You taught me the grind, Gunny. Rest easy. Valor? It's burying your dead and briefing dawn. Stateside rotations brought breathers, but family fault lines faulted. Dad's health dips, prostate scare, VA waitlist eternal. I fly in, navigate bureaucracy like a bad op, sir, Colonel Lang, priority, hanged up on. Finally, surgery slots, me bedside with dog-eared Tom Clancy. You read this crap, he grunts, tube snaking. Better than my evals, Dad. Laugh, weak. Marcus visits, awkward, tough bird, Robbie. Like his girls. Girls? Plural, me and the ghosts. His thaw starts there. Post-surgery barbecue, 23, small, just clan. Marcus flips dogs, quieter. Heard about that cash bust, sophomore stars and stripes had a blurb. Blurb. My chest tightens. Yeah. Saved a battalion's bacon. He nods, no quip. Good work. No for a desk jockey. Progress, glacial. Meanwhile, Elias resurfaces, Bragg reunion, Fort Bragg's pines whispering secrets. He's major now, limp faint, eyes still sharp. Soft Lang, Colonel Oracle. Buy you a drink? Bars dim, jukebox crooning Toby Keith. We talk ops, omissions, his beret tab, my invisible medals. Family still writing you? He asks, lime in his corona. Like a bad habit. Yours? Think I'm nuts, chasing spooks. Laughter mingles, hands brush. Sparks? Maybe. But duty calls, his to Africa, mine to the Pentagon, J2 shop. Pentagon's a maze of marble and memos, earring echoes hollow. 24 slot, strategic intel branch, briefing flag ranks on Indo-Pacific threats, China's gray zone games, North Korean hacks. Glory? Nah, grind. But impact? Global. One brief, PLA sub-patterns off Taiwan, Ghost Fleet. Joint Chiefs nod, carrier groups shift. Unseen ripples. Family front heats. Ben deploys, guard to Kuwait, logistics but real in their book. I coach him pre-flight, watch the patterns, bro supply lines bleed intel. He hugs awkward, thanks, Colonel Sis. Marcus at send-off, proud of ya, boy. Keep the trucks rolling. To me, aside, you'll keep an eye on him from your perch? Perch. Bird's eye, not drone. Always, uncle. Then the gut punch, Aunt Teresa's MS diagnosis, 24. Clan rallies, potlucks, prayer chains. I coordinate VA benefits, navigate TRICARE like a bad insertion. Marcus calls, voice cracked, soft, your paperwork wizardry, it got her approved fast. First compliment, unprompted. Just doing my job. No. It's more. Thaw accelerates. But mockery's ghost lingers. Cousin Jake's promotion, Ranger Battalion CSM, Big Bash in Fayetteville. I'm there, eagles gleaming. Toasts flow, to Jake, door kicker supreme. Marcus, and to Intel, 'cause someone gotta tell him which doors. Laughter, lighter. I counter, damn right. Wrong door, no kick. Winks exchanged. Evolution. 24 deepens cracks. Elias and I? Stolen weekends, DC dinners, his hand in mine across Potomac views. Marry me, soft, he whispers post-brief, Eiffel Tower lights mocking from across the river. No, wait, that's Paris leave, rare RNR after, I hedge. Duty first, always. But storms brew. Dad's remission falters, chemo rounds, me shuttling Pittsburgh Pentagon. One night, hospital vigil, he confesses, I failed you, kid. Laughed with Marcus cause, envy. Your war's cleaner than mine. Tears track his cheeks, for beeping. No, Dad. You forged me. Hug, tubes tangling. Valor in vulnerability. Marcus steps up, drives Dad to treatments, me freed for work. Family's family, he grunts over phone. Even paper pushers. Pushers. Habit dies hard. Work peaks, Indo-Pacific brief goes viral internal, PLA island grabs predicted, prepo ships prepositioned. SEC def nod, Lang, you're the canary in the coal mine. Canary. Better than desk. Personal? Therapy mandated post-Kabul, VA shrink in Alexandria, sessions like debriefs. The isolation, Colonel, it's trauma. I unpack, mockery as microaggressions, losses as ledgers unbalanced. Valor isn't solo, she says. Share the load. I do, Elias, journal scrawls, mentor circles. 25 spring, Ben rotates home, tails tall. Sis, your tips? Saved our convoy from a spike strip. Pride swells. Family dinner, first without jabs. Marcus raises glass, to the Langs, all branches, all valor. Echoes. But climax brews. White House invite drops, Presidential Valor Awards, Intel category. My Shadowlance work, Kabul exfils, nominated anonymous. Where the blues, CO texts. Family? I mention casual. Dad, we'll be there. Marcus, wouldn't miss it. May 25, DC Bloom's Cherry Pink Irony Suite. Preps Frenzy, Tailor Fittings, Speeches Scripted Unscripted. Elias pins my eagles straighter, you earned this, love. Love. Said it. Oval Arrival, Motorcade hums, Marine Band crisp. Inside, air-charged, VPs, generals, families in rows. Mine, Dad frail but beaming, Marcus fidgeting suit stiff, Ben broad-shouldered, and Teresa walker-bound but eyes bright. They crashed via Dad's pull, uninvited, but welcome now. President enters, presence gravitational. Podium gleams. Today, we honor the unseen sentinels. Names roll, pilots, medics. Then, for dissecting terror's veins in Afghanistan, for mapping mercy in Kabul's chaos, saving thousands through intellect sharper than steel. Colonel Sophia Lang. Spotlight blinds, applause thunders. I rise, legs lead, mount steps. Handshake firm, Colonel, your valor echoes Lincoln's, quiet, profound. Whisper, the shadows need light like yours. Turn, family row. Dad tears streaming, nod proud. Ben whoops. Aunt claps fierce. Marcus? Frozen, flask forgotten, face ashen to crimson. The mocker, mid-breath, petrified. Eyes meet, mind steady, his wide with revelation. No words, just the weight, now you see. Ceremony blurs, metal pins cold, photos flash. Recessional, Marcus corners, soft. I didn't know. Voice cracks, Marine gone soft. The papers, they were. Weapons, uncle. Always were. He nods, swallows. Proud. Damn proud. Dinner after, Georgetown Steakhouse, candlelit. Toasts cascade, Dad, to Sophia, our clan's true north. Ben, saved my ass from afar. Marcus, glass high, to the toughest intel hawk I ever underrated. Aura, Colonel. Laughter, genuine, bridge crossed. Elias later, balcony stars, told you. Valor wins. Ring slips on, sapphire, simple. Yes. Post-award, ripples spread. Media blips, Army intel hero honored, family clippings framed. Dad's health stabilizes, Marcus volunteers VA buddy program, sharing my stories. Turns out, niece knows her shit. I return Pentagon, mentor expanded, Academy lectures at West Point, intel's the first line, no glory, all grit. Cadets lean in, eyes like mine once. Elias and I? Wedding 26, Fort Myer Chapel, simple, boots with veil. Vows, in shadows or sun, your patterns guide me. Honeymoon? RNR in Tuscany, but duty calls, his to SOCOM, mine to Cyber Command. Reflections? Valor's mosaic, family mended, scars honored, purpose pure. Uncle's freeze? Catalyst, not end. We text now, his, saw your brief on CNN. Still pushing papers? Me, pushing victory. Join for beers? Roger.